As we heard, there are people in Sweden who support Israel and have a deep sense of the injustice of the present situation. It's these people who give hope to those who still believe that things will get better here. One of them is Barbara Spector, a former American who made Aliyah and then 10 years ago, with the help of the government of Sweden, set up a non-denominational institute of Jewish learning with the Greek name of Paideia, here in Stockholm. She believes the current wave of anti-Semitism in Sweden will pass and that Jews have an important role to play in a country undergoing profound change.
I think there's a resurgence of anti-Semitism because at this point in time, Europe has not yet learned how to be multicultural. And I think we're going to be part of the throes of that transformation, which must take place. Europe is not going to be the monolithic societies that they once were in the last century. Jews are going to be at the center of that. It's a huge transformation for Europe to make. They are now going into a multicultural mode, and Jews will be resented because of our leading role. But without that leading role and without that transformation, Europe will not survive.
Paideia.
So this woman is a Jewish woman. She comes from America, she's now in Sweden, and she's calling for the destruction, long term, of the white race within Europe. And this has to happen. Now, this isn't the only time that she said this, but you have to watch what you say because they control the media, they control the legal system, and they brought about a thing called anti-Semitism, or anti-Semitic law, or whatever you want to call it, where if you criticise Jewish people, Israel, that kind of stuff, then you can be prosecuted. Now you have to ask yourself your question, why did they need this law? Surely everything's open to question, but apparently it's not. The other thing is, you would only create this law if you knew you were going to do something bad and you needed to get away with it. So you bring about the anti-Semitic laws, you base it on a historical part saying that the Jewish people have been persecuted over the years, and there is a meme that goes around, if I've been kicked out of 100+ pubs in my time in drinking, is it the pub's problem or is it mine? I'll let you work that one out for yourself. But anyway, here we are. So this person sees nothing wrong in asking for the Middle East, Africa, wherever you want to call it, all of these different places, basically everybody around the world, to flood Europe and to breed the white European race out. Why? That would be hatred of white people, wouldn't it? I mean, imagine this. We come up with this great idea of what we want to do is turn Israel multicultural. Well, actually flood it with people from Africa and India and other parts of the world. And, you know, what will be wrong with that? I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, surely. So, if we came up with this idea and said it was a good thing, you would probably find that they would take great offence to this, because Israel's supposed to be a place, or a sanctuary for Jewish people after their persecution in the Second World War. I believe the Brits gave it to them after the Second World War as a homeland. But I thought that went against the teachings that they had to wander the earth without a homeland, but what do I know? But if people can't see the systematic racism in her statement and her hatred of the white race, I'm afraid it's pointless even doing this. But yet nobody is allowed to say anything or criticise. Nothing at all. Not a damn word. So I've got to simply not criticise it and query it and say, isn't that strange? I'd like to know what you think in the comments, because frankly, if say for instance, you reversed it and a white person was saying this was a great idea to happen to Israel, they'd be up in arms. But you can't criticise Israel, you can't criticise Jewish people. So you've got to sit there and smile and let the slow destruction of Europe happen, because who wants to be called anti-Semitic? Better give Europe up, I guess. Better to ruin your children's future and whatever else, because God knows nobody wants to be anti-Semitic, do they? what I mean?